Welcome to episode 3 of Sidetracked, a Raspberries production.
Episode 3?
It's episode 3.
Alright.
We're only 3 episodes in, Sam.
I will take your word for it, considering you are editing these and I'm editing the regular stuff, because I have the powerful computer.
You have the powerful computer, though.
You have the laptop.
I have the laptop, but I could, if I wanted to, edit the videos, but...
You could, but it'd be counterintuitive, considering your laptop is nowhere near powerful enough to handle Adobe.
True. Okay. Fair enough.
Need those CUDA cores.
Yeah. But this episode, we're going to be discussing the best...
We're going to be discussing 2017.
Oh, yes. 2017. The best, the worst...
Everything in between.
Exactly. So, I guess I've seen a lot of movies. I went back and counted how many movies I watched over the entire year at a theater. Some of them that I didn't watch with you, but most of them I watched either with my wife or with you or with some other friends. I have seen at least around maybe 15 films this year.
Man, I barely got out to the theater.
Yeah.
Saw the ones with you, and I think that's about it.
Yeah. So, I'm going to quickly run through, in no particular order, the top 10 movies that I saw this year. Though I will say, if I was going to put them in the spot, I'm going to name my top 3 right now. And then from there, it's really no particular order. The number 1 movie for me this year, I have to go with Wonder Woman, because it was a groundbreaking film. It was the highest grossing film of a female director. This is the first superhero film with a woman as the protagonist that was successful in the box office and was loved by audiences and critics everywhere. It was one of the highest grossing films of the year.
What other female lead superhero?
There was only one, and that was Elektra. And nobody remembers that one because it was... I mean, I've got the movie. It was just nowhere near as good as...
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to compare...
Wonder Woman had a pretty low bar.
Yeah, I mean, it really didn't have too much... Like, there was nothing like, oh, there's no way it's going to be better than this female-led superhero movie or this one. But overall, even though it was a female lead, this actually was still, to me, one of the best films by far. It was the most enjoyable. If they're going into the review, when we eventually do review it, the only weak thing that it had was the villain design.
Yeah. Oh boy, I have a lot of thoughts about that.
Oh yeah, well we'll get to that when we review the actual movie.
It'll be interesting to see how that stacks up to what's it called? Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel. Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be an interesting to compare, because DC Warner Brothers actually did a first before Marvel did. Mm-hmm. Which was having a successful female-led movie. Patty Jenkins is also apparently going to be making a Wonder Woman sequel, and I've already heard rumors that the movie will be a love story, is what I've heard. Not sure how I feel about that. But
so clearly they got rid of what's his name? The guy that Gal Gadot was like,
if he's in this...
If he's directing this movie, I will not...
Wasn't directing. If he was any part of it. Like, I think he was part of the production team.
Yeah, that might be. Something like that.
Because, Patty's directing it again. But, anyway, number 2. This one was a little bit hard to pick. I'm going to have to go with Thor Ragnarok. Because that movie was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, it was.
And it was just so much fun throughout the entire thing. By far the best Thor film the MCU has produced. Mm-hmm. And then again, more into that. And then number 3, I'd have to go with Logan. because Logan was a really good R-rated film with Hugh Jackman playing the character one last time, and I got to see Wolverine at his full maximum carnage, because that one was more brutal and it reminded me a lot of more of the comics and how ruthless Wolverine can be, but it also reminded me just like how much I love Hugh Jackman's performance, how much I love the character, and it was just a great film overall. And the fact that it was rated R, and now it's being shown that, hey, rated R films can be really, really good, and they don't all have to be, you know, when I consider, when I was like, before I was 17, before I was old enough to go see a rated R film, I saw rated R films as, oh, these are the films with all the blood and the gore and the foul language and all that and nudity. But this, as I got older, you know, not all rated R films are like that, and the best ones don't really, you know, play to those stereotypes as I had growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But so for the rest of the films, so I've gotten 3 down. Other films that I've enjoyed in no particular order. Obviously, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I loved that one. Can't wait to discuss that one. The 5th one I was gonna say, Spiderman Homecoming, one of the best Spider-Man films I've seen. And now that was actually ironic. That's the 5th Spider-Man film, and it's saying number 5. But again, actually I said no particular order, but whatever. Number 6, this one you didn't see with me. War for the Planet of the Apes was a really good movie for me. I really can't say too much. It was just another wonderful performance by Andy Serkis, a wonderful actor, he's like, to me, one of the best actors to do motion capture. He's like the pioneer of motion capture acting, to me anyway. One of the best. Let's see, what else came out that I saw? Actually, the latest film that I went to go see with my wife, Crystal, we saw The Greatest Showman, and I really enjoyed that one. That one was a really good film. I'd probably, if I had to put out a number, probably number 10. Let's see, that's 6 that I've mentioned. Obviously, got to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yeah.
That one was amazing.
Still not as good as the original.
In your opinion, but I mean,
wow.
For me, I don't know. I can't say. I love both of them. They're just both really good. I don't know if I can really say one's better than the other. To me, anyway. I mean, it's just, there were some things I loved more about the first one than I did the second one. But there were some about the second one that I loved more about the first one. Such as, I thought the villain in the second one was better than the first one. So, but, okay, that's 7. I need to think of 3 more that I went to see. Beauty and the Beast, the one that came out. I enjoyed that. A lot more than I thought I was going to. That one was a bit of a surprise. Because, I mean, I love Emma Watson, but I was a little worried, mostly because of the Beast's design is not as cool as I thought as he was in the original animated version of 1991.
Yeah,
and plus,
that's definitely one part that didn't really transfer over that well from the animated version. I thought, you know, everyone else in the castle who got turned into everything else, I thought that, you know, transferred very well.
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah, I enjoyed that. It was different yet the same. It's like you said, when if we ever get that freaking finished editing, I said you said it was the extended edition of the story.
Yeah.
Disney's extended edition of Beauty and the Beast. Let's see. Another one I went to go see that was pretty good. Oh, one that I really enjoyed. It was earlier in the year. Lego Batman. The Lego Batman movie. That one was... It reminded me more of the Adam West kind of Batman, whereas this is more funny, not serious take on Batman. This is Batman being, silly and just really taking the whole, I'm Batman, I can do anything, I'm the best. What? Whoa, you wonder how I got it through that explosion, but I was still in the car? Because I'm Batman, that's why. I can survive anything. I went to go see Atomic Blonde with a friend of mine, and it was interesting. Another good female lead, and it reminded me a lot what the critics were saying about it, which was this is the female James Bond, and it was interesting. It was a good film. And I'm probably, if I re-look again, I'm probably going to think of other films that I thought, oh no, I like this better, that I would put in my top 10, or this one. And then finally, I went to go see Alien Covenant. And after reading that, what people were thinking about it, it was not that good for a lot of people and fans. Though, from what I heard, fans enjoyed it a little more than they did Prometheus, because Prometheus was supposed to be an alien movie, but I never went to go see that because I heard there's hardly any alien in it. This is an alien movie. Where's the alien? And there's it has very little screen time. No. Take that one off. I just remember the other one that I loved that I saw that got me super hyped, and it's a good way to end on my top 10. Kong Skull Island. Now, Sam is not a big of a fan of the kaiju, the big giant monster movie films.
Yeah.
He's not that big of a fan. I am a huge fan of that. And Kong Skull Island, I thought, was amazing. It was such a good movie. They did a really great job of separating it from King Kong as far as the classic story. The 1933, the 2005, those versions of the story where, Kong takes a pretty female lady, and as everyone knows, it's not much of a spoiler. If you're not seeing it, go see it, but basically Kong dying on the top of the Empire State Building because he climbed all the way up there and got shot down by the planes. This one was entirely different. It's becoming part of, I think, Legend, the production company, Legendary, who helps a lot with it. They're creating their own universe. It's their giant kaiju monster movie universe, and at the end, there's an end credit scene of Kong Skull Island, and it shows paintings of Godzilla and King Ghidorah. I know you don't know who these guys are, and Rodan. These are all famous giant movie monsters that really got popular from Japan. Japan's really well known for their kaiju versus the United States. But funny enough, it was the United States' King Kong that inspired Godzilla back when he was released in 1933. Then 1954 was when Godzilla came out. But at the end of that movie, Crystal saw me when I went to go see that in the theater. My wife saw me freaking out at the end credit scene because at the end of the credit scene, when that scene was done, showing all the pictures of the giant kaiju that I knew, I was freaking about each one. I was like, there's Godzilla! There's King Ghidorah! There's Rodan! And then at the end of it, you hear Godzilla's roar. It's like, I was so excited because I believe it's in 2020 that we're getting King Kong versus Godzilla. The new one. Because the original one was made back in 1962. And I'm so stoked. I'm really hoping they can do a really good job with it. They made Kong giant size. They had to in order for him to be versing Godzilla. And they had to do that back in 1962. So yeah, those were some of the really enjoyable films that I loved over the year.
Yeah, So God, I can't even remember what came out this year as opposed to last year. So instead of movies, I'm gonna do kind of a similar list. I'll give my except instead of movies, I'm gonna do anime.
Oh yeah. Can I switch one of mine? I just forgot the other one.
It didn't come out this year. I know what you're thinking of. It didn't technically come out this year.
Oh, it didn't? Okay, well then I'll let you just keep going.
Because I'm going to go over that.
Okay, fine. But note that movie would be on my top 10, and I would kick out another one, like Greatest Showman. Sorry, Greatest Showman. Sorry, Hugh Jackman.
So, man, this is hard for me, because there were some really good shows that came out this year. Oh, man. I think my top one is going to have to be season 2 of My Hero Academia. I had a friend text me one day and say, "Hey Sam, you need to watch My Hero Academia." And at the time season 2 had already started airing. I was like, well, okay, I'll start on season 1. If it's good, I'll continue on it. Oh my god! It's such a good show. Just the character building, the world building, a good tournament arc. Tournament arcs are not always enjoyable to watch. I mean, it's just a series of fights throughout a story arc. But they combined, the fights with a lot of character building, and I know you haven't seen this.
Yeah, no. There was a whole bunch of movies that I've seen.
And Crystal has.
That you didn't see this year, so.
Yeah. I'm such a sucker for anyone that has fire and ice superpowers.
Oh, I love fire and ice superpowers.
One of the main characters has
both.
Both.
Oh, that's awesome! What is this called?
My Hero Academia. Or Boku no Hero Academia.
Ooh, I might have to watch this.
If you want to be pedantic about it. So
that's awesome.
My number 2. Man, this is really, really hard. My number 2 is going to have to be season 2 of Attack on Titan. I enjoyed season 1. It was pretty good. It's got great premise, and I haven't read the manga, but I have read the manga of Before the Fall, which is a spin-off of it, and that's really good. And with Attack on Titan, I'm more into really the world building and all the science behind what's happening there than I am, all the family drama and Aaron being Aaron. You know what I mean, Crystal?
Say hi, Crystal, because I'm pretty sure the audience now knows that you're here.
Yeah,
obviously. She's refusing to say. She's busy playing Assassin's Creed Origins.
I mean, I did still enjoy, season 2. You look at it, and season 2 covers all of 2 or 3 days. And granted, some of that was in flashbacks, but there was a good chunk of it that wasn't in flashbacks, and just to get the pacing to where you're down to 2 or 3 days for 13 episodes, I think. I want to say that's right. Yeah, yeah. No, 12 episodes. Yeah, I'm also a bit of a sucker for good pacing.
Pacing is everything.
Oh, and then my number 3. I can't pick. You know what? No, I'm gonna go with my number 3 is Recovery of an MMO Junkie. It's about this 30-year-old girl who plays an MMO online, and when I was reading through the description and I found out that it was a story about an MMO instead of a virtual reality MMO, I was like, oh, I gotta get on top of this. I miss the days where I spent hours on end playing RuneScape.
Oh my gosh, I remember those days. Because you were the one who tried to get me into that.
Yeah, that was a fun game. But she plays as a guy online.
Nice.
And she starts to fall for this girl. And you find out that the girl is being controlled by a guy. It's
that's cool.
It's a slice of life comedy.
It's pretty
so funny. Recovery of an MMO Junkie.
That sounds really neat.
Yeah, it's so much fun to watch. And then just kind of my follow up, going in order here off of my list. Love Live Sunshine Season 2. I have to say that season was better than any of the other. Well, it was better than Season 1 of Sunshine, and honestly, I feel like it was better than either season of the original Love Live. And it's interesting to watch some of the insert songs and the CG that goes along with them, because Season 2 of Sunshine is just worlds ahead of the CG that was in the first season of Love Live. Also, Yu-chan is best girl. Going on, Inuyashiki, which...
You don't have to whisper. They know you're here.
Yeah, you can talk to.
I watched some clips of that.
It's
and it looks pretty
dark. It's so dark. I mean, I read through the manga first. I happened to run up. I happened to find it. I was looking for the anime. I didn't know where it was being hosted, and I found out that Crunchyroll had the manga available, and the manga is definitely better than the anime. The anime could have used maybe 1 or 2 more episodes just to fit everything in. But yeah, without spoiling too much, I've seen shows where people have been killed, but man, I have not seen anything as dark as what I saw in Inuyashiki. Reading through the manga, I had to stop and walk away from my computer for a little bit, because I had to sit and process how that guy just died, how that family just died.
Oh boy.
Next is one that the anime subreddit was very divided on Sakurada Reset, or Sagrada Reset, depending on how you want to pronounce it. It's this kind of supernatural crime slice of life, kind of. It's kind of hard to
describe.
Kind of hard to give it a category. It has very slow pacing, which a lot of people didn't like, and the world wasn't as fleshed out as people wanted it to be, because everyone in this town has some sort of little superpower. And if you leave the town, you lose your superpower.
Oh. Well, why would you want to leave?
Yeah, well, no one ever did.
Yeah, I want to keep my superpower, please.
And
unless it was really lame, then I wouldn't care less.
But there was this kind of big conspiracy with the town's government, kind of, I guess that's what you'd call them. And the main character had to outsmart everyone and prevent them from accomplishing their task. And yeah, a lot of people didn't like it. I enjoyed it. It wasn't... What did I give it? Yeah, I actually gave it a 9 out of 10. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of dialogue. There's not a lot of action. Which, you know, after watching the first episode, you can't expect a lot of action.
Yeah. I mean...
And
it really depends on me if I'm going to go with... I love my action, but if it's compelling enough of a story...
Yeah, and to me it was. And there's a lot of text to read. And
yay, reading!
I mean, it can be hard to keep track of what's going on. Especially considering how they did the episodes, because they're not always quite in chronological order. They kind of moved things around to prevent you from learning about parts of the plot.
Message.
Okay. That was an email.
Oh, email.
Okay, so my last one on the list is Kato the Right Answer.
Oh.
This one, well, it's about this interdimensional being that happens upon Tokyo, I think, with this giant cube that accidentally is just is brought into our plane of existence on an airport tarmac. And I'm also kind of a sucker for political drama, especially in anime.
Yeah.
I mean, this is my number 2 series for political anime, followed by Ghost in the Shell. It's following Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell is my favorite political drama. I mean, it's a sci-fi political drama.
You didn't go see the live action, did you?
I didn't.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people did not.
I was going to. I kind of just didn't give time to myself, and I still will. I mean,
I think I want to see it just because Scarlett Johansson's in it.
Yeah,
I love Scarlett, but
I mean, I've seen, you know, every I've seen all of the Ghost in the Shell movies. I've seen both seasons of the of Standalone Complex. I've seen all the episodes of Arise. I enjoy Ghost in the Shell. And I was all ready to go in and with very low expectations into that movie, and I never got around to it.
Yeah.
So the movie that Ryan was going to talk about, that we'll talk a little bit about now, was Kimi no Na wa, or Your Name.
It's Ryan, and yours is Sam.
Yes. And that movie came out in 2017, but it really came out in 2016 in Japan. It was just...
In Japan.
In the U.S., it came out in 2017.
Which, for me, counts. So I'm taking one of mine out. Another one I was going to take out, I have to talk about Justice League.
Yeah.
Because while a lot of people didn't like it, I enjoyed the movie. It definitely has its flaws, but overall, I was entertained. I loved it.
It was better than BVS and Man of Steel.
I liked Man of Steel, but I think I enjoyed this a little more than that. Slightly. But I love Man of Steel. That's a good
Obviously
movie.
Not nearly as good as Wonder Woman.
Oh, no. Wonder Woman, again, best film for me this year was Wonder Woman. Because I've been waiting forever for a Wonder Woman movie. The character has been out for over 75 years. How many movies of Superman, Batman did we get? A whole bunch, including some really crappy ones. And we never got a Wonder Woman movie until now.
The better question is, how many movies and TV shows has Batman gotten?
Gosh, I don't want to go into that. Batman alone. But to be fair, Batman is honestly the best DC character, in my opinion. But we'll go into that when we do future podcast episodes. So with that in mind, what would you consider was the worst of 2017 that you experienced? It doesn't have to be via movies or TV. It could just be anything, I'd say. For me, I mean, I had a few disappointments this year as far as TV and movie wise. I mean, as much as I don't want to say it, I want to say that Iron Fist, I know you haven't seen it yet.
No.
But the first season of Iron Fist was a bit of a letdown for me. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I really liked the first season. I even watched the season twice this year. I'm pretty sure Iron Fist came out this year, right? It was Iron Fist and Punisher and the Defenders that came out this year.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
Years kind of melded together.
Yeah, really. But, I mean, overall, I mean, if you see some of the memes that are out there, there's a really funny one with Iron Fist and Iron Man. So it shows Danny Rand saying, you call yourself Iron Man, yet your suit's not made of iron. And then he's like, and then Tony say, and this is something Tony would totally say. You say your name, you call yourself Iron Fist, but yet you hardly use it in the entire suit. Hardly use it in your first season, which is funny because it's so true. That was one of my biggest complaints of the season of Iron Fist. He hardly uses his Iron Fist. I know he's a kung fu master, and it shows kind of that, but show the Iron Fist, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then of course the joke.
Stop having him introduce himself.
Okay, I've watched it twice, and honestly, he doesn't introduce himself that many times as that. Though, like, near the end of the first season, he definitely says more of, I am Danny Rand. I am the Iron Fist. I am the chosen one. I am to bring balance to the Force. Yeah. Wait, wrong franchise. The mortal enemy of the Hand. I must take down the Hand. It is my destiny. But, I mean, I don't like to be disappointed. I don't get disappointed easily when it comes to entertainment stuff. Like, the only movie I was greatly disappointed by ever in my entire life, and it didn't come out this year, obviously, and I'm pretty sure I've complained to you about it many, many, many times, and that was the Last Airbender.
Yeah.
That is the one movie I absolutely despise.
There are some other movies I despise, but yeah, I think it might have been this year. I was home alone and kind of bored. I turned on the TV and was browsing through, and Nick was showing The Last Airbender.
Why?
It's like, I have not. I understand all the hate behind it. I know the reasons why people hate it, but I have not actually seen this.
Yeah,
I watched through it, and I was like,
you texted me. You texted me that night. It's like, I'm watching The Last Airbender. I was like, Sam, no! Save yourself! Or more like, I was probably like, good luck. Enjoy what you can. Though, to be fair, from what I remember, there was, I think, one decent actor in there. At least one. That I was okay with. Other than that, I hated it. I hated it.
I guess, for me, it wasn't so much that I hated it, but it was boring to watch.
That is exactly one of the reasons why I hated it. It was so boring. I don't know if we're ever going to review that one.
We'll get around to it.
We'll get around to it. But, yeah, honestly, though, now that I'm thinking about it, I wasn't really too disappointed with much this year. I enjoyed Iron Fist despite some of the major problems with it. There were... I mean, not every movie was perfect that I saw this year. Obviously, Justice League still was pretty much panned by critics. And it still holds like around a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes somewhere. But, I mean, it wasn't... For me, as you know, I'm pretty much easy to please. I'm pretty easily entertained. And I like having that kind of life because that means I get to enjoy more things whereas people hate some of these things. But I just get to sit back and enjoy it and don't really give too much of a care in the world. So, with that being said, there's some movies that I really wished I would have seen this year. One of those movies being Baby Driver. You ever heard about that one?
I heard about it. I heard it was really good.
Yeah, I heard it was really good, and I wanted to go see it, but I never got around the time to go see it. And honestly, that's, I think, going to have to be a movie I'm going to have to get once it's... I think it probably is available for Redbox, but once I find enough time around to get into it, I need to watch that movie. Because I really want to see it. I heard it was really good, and just really something different that I haven't seen. And I remember watching the trailers, and I was seeing some of the car stunt work, and I was like, wow, this is really cool looking. I really wish I would have gone to see that. So, what about you? Was there any movies that you wish you kind of saw that came out this year, but you didn't get around to it? I won't count.
I wanted to see Coco. I meant to go see that.
Oh, yeah.
But I got...
But Sam, you'd have to go see... now that they got rid of it. But Sam, if you would have seen it when it came out, you would have had to watch the nice 20-minute mini episode, or whatever it was called, of Frozen.
Yeah, no.
When people were so upset about that. And who can blame them?
I mean, kind of pulling away from, not really pulling away from movies, but, I mean, just thinking about, partially pulling away from movies anyway, thinking about, some of the celebrities who died this past year.
Oh, yeah.
One person that I really enjoy is Tom Petty. Wonderful musician. We also lost John Hurt.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Mary Tyler Moore.
Who did we?
Who else do I know?
I feel like we lost one of the.
Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry is, I mean, he's arguably one of the most important figures for rock and roll.
Yeah.
Back to the Future.
Oh.
I mean, when Marty's playing Johnny B. Good,
Yeah.
one of the band members who's supposed to be Chuck Berry's cousin, or I don't know, he calls Chuck up and he's like, you know that sound you've been looking for? Well, listen to this. He was calling Chuck Berry at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
At least I think I'm remembering that right.
Didn't we lose...
Lost Don Rickles.
There was another famous Star Wars character we lost. An actor who played a Star Wars character we lost this year. Didn't we?
I mean, Carrie Fisher died at the end of last
I know
year,
she did, but that's not who I'm talking about. But to be said, real quick though, we miss Carrie Fisher. She died before we started doing this. Technically, didn't she? Before we started making videos, or at least before.
No, yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, but I just want to make a quick little thank you for Carrie for everything she's done for us.
Okay, so we also... Ah, crap, this page has got to reload.
I've been saying.
Powers Booth.
Powers Booth. Who was that? Powers... Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. That guy.
He's been a villain in a lot of different films.
Yeah.
Roger Moore died.
Who's Roger Moore?
He was...
I'm really bad with names.
He was one of the...
it's like a family
He was
curse.
one of the James Bond
actors. Okay.
Yeah, I mean... There he is.
Okay. So...
Adam West.
Oh, yes, of course. How could we forget? Adam West. Adam West. Little Clyde. Adam West. Adam West.
Adam West. I'll come out when they're gone.
Dr. Brown, I just killed 5 more people. I mean, I'm got ducks on my feet. Crazy old mayor.
Yeah, I mean, apart from being himself in like half of the things that he's been in, he was best known for being Catman in The Fairly Odd Parents.
Correction, he was best known for being Batman. Sam.
Okay, you know.
To be fair, he was Batman more than he was Catman.
Fine, if you're gonna ignore my joke, then...
Oh, I got your joke. I
know,
get it.
But if you're gonna ignore it, then...
I'm going to ignore it.
Fine.
Because I don't. I just feel like we need to mention. He was Batman.
Yeah.
And as much as
he was one of the truest Batman.
Truest in the sense of
you know, Batman's character. Like, yes, I'm going to be knocking on BVS and Justice League.
That's not what I'm looking at you for. And I know you guys can't see, but I'm giving him a look.
Ignoring the slapstick comedy and looking at his character.
The goofy character.
The guy that doesn't kill anyone with a car.
Okay, yeah.
Or by slamming a guy's head into a wall.
Yes, I understand that, but you gotta understand there was other Batmans that also did not kill.
I know. Anyway.
But, I mean, I'll say this. His performance as Batman, like, without him, there'd be no other Batmans of the future. There would not have been, Christian Bale. There wouldn't have been, well, some people would actually be happy. No George Clooney or Val Kilmer. Michael Keaton, though, was also one of the best Batman. But if it weren't for Adam West, we wouldn't have gotten
Poor Michael Keaton.
Yeah, poor Michael.
At least he got his career back.
Yes. But, I mean, if it weren't for Adam, we would never have gotten those other Batman. We wouldn't have gotten the evolution of Batman in film and television. Because, I mean, Adam West, when I think of Adam West as Batman, I think of fun. I just think all-around fun. Because, yes, it's kooky. Yes, it's cheesy. Yes, it's super campy. But...
my God, was Adam West's Batman campy.
Oh my gosh, it was.
And that's what I love about it.
Exactly. That was the intention. It was supposed to be campy.
I mean, it was, 60s, 70s?
Yeah, it was the 60s.
Yeah.
This is the time of the era. It was just the production of that era.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I love Batman more serious and, the dark character that he is. But that doesn't mean I didn't like Adam West as Batman. I loved it because that was the intention, again, was being campy and funny and, more like early comics that were out. Kapow! And holy cow's milk, Batman! I don't know. But, I mean, you just cannot hate it for what it was meant to be as. What it was trying to do with it. Adam West was a really great Batman. Yeah. And one of the best. And I can guarantee you...
my God, that Batman was parodied to death.
Oh, yes, it was. It was. But yeah, I just think Adam West has made such an impression, not just for... I mean, he's made an impression through generations and generations of people. People, like, from the generation of the 70s, 80s, like, they remember him as Batman. From our era, we kind of remember him as Catman. And, of course...
well, no, I still remember him.
I mean, I remember him as Batman, too, but we also remember him at his other roles, such as Catman and...
Himself.
Basically. Family Guy. Which, as bad as Family Guy has gotten... Adam West was still one of the best things about that show. I love it. Somebody's been stealing my water. I've been investigating for months. It cost so much money of the taxpayers.
Somebody stole my light brights. Now I'm only Adam Wee.
No, it's like, dang it, Swanson, I want them found. Mayor West, we're doing everything we can to locate the Griffins. We just don't have any leads. Not the Griffins, you moron. The rest of my light bright pieces. My name isn't Adam Wee. Or is it? Who am I? What number did you dial? Don't ever call here again. I guess I showed him. Nobody messes with Adam Wee. He's produced so many great Family Guy moments. It's just...
well, like, I mean, half of those have to be ad-libbed.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, I'm a tomato. A wall.
He and Robin Williams probably got away with the most ad-libbing of any actor in Hollywood.
Probably. But yeah, so to wrap kind of things up, I guess the best way to do this would be, what are we looking most forward to in 2018, and what kind of our plans might be, and of course resolutions. Which would you like to start with?
I don't want to talk about my resolution.
Can I talk about my resolution?
I guess my resolution is a 2K monitor, so...
A 2K... to get a 2K monitor. That's not bad. I thought our group resolution was to be... we're going to try and get...
yeah, now that I have a computer that's really nice.
Yes.
I'm going to, actually get around to editing.
Yes. We're hoping to get how many episodes at least a month?
I don't know.
I think you said 2.
Depends on my work schedule. We'll
Will depend. Well,
2 would be nice.
2 would be our ultimate goal and resolution is to get at least 2 videos out a month as far as reviews.
Well, or the other thing that I'd really hope to do is do an October Halloween movie. What's the word?
Yeah, special or
no, not special.
Halloween themed.
Yeah, theme. I guess that's the word it's not really the word I'm looking for, but that's the word.
Best.
That's close.
Close enough.
Close enough. We'll do a Halloween theme for October, and I'm hoping to get like 1 video a week out.
That would be nice.
Starting with classic Halloween.
Oh yes, classic Halloween.
And then
like, are you talking horror or just
like Nightmare on Elm Street?
Oh yeah, the real horror classics.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely be up for that.
Horror, yeah. And then depending on my work schedule, maybe doing the same sort of thing with Christmas, except not with horror movies.
Yeah, of course not. Well, there are plenty of horror Christmas-themed movies out there.
We could watch Die Hard.
Yeah, we could. That'd be perfect. I have actually, and I'm probably going to get...
Big argument over whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah. No, if you ask most people who love the movie, they're going to say it's a Christmas movie.
It takes place at Christmas.
Yeah, well, by that logic, that means Child's Play is a Christmas movie because it takes place during Christmas.
And maybe that answers the question of is Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie?
I'd say it is, technically.
Yeah, I don't know.
That one works for both. So yeah, our group, or for the channel, we're kind of hoping to get more videos released out, but I mean, we won't promise anything. We're gonna hope to get.
We'll be optimistic.
We're gonna be super optimistic about it. We're gonna try to get at least maybe 2 review videos out and hopefully 2 podcasts out a month as our ultimate goal. We're gonna try and do more recording sessions ahead of time and then get to editing and all that. That's our optimistic resolution goal of 2018. Mm-hmm. With that being said, Sam, what are you looking most forward to in 2018? Could be anything. What TV shows, what video games, what movies are you most excited about for 2018? Because I've got a few that I cannot wait to see.
Give me a minute.
Sam needs a minute. So with that in mind, I will talk about something that I'm really excited for, obviously, this year. I am really excited now because my wife was so kind enough to get me a PlayStation 4 this year for Christmas. So I'm really looking forward to playing the new Spider-Man game that's coming out in 2018. I cannot wait to play it. It looks amazing. No pun intended. Amazing. And now that I have a PlayStation 4, I actually will get to play it. Please don't let the reviews to be bad because I really want to play that game.
You've also got Kingdom Hearts 3 when the version comes out.
Oh, don't get me started on that. Now that I actually just purchased Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 remix bundle, I got to replay all those games. Which I'm excited to play because I love Kingdom Hearts. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It is one of the best series that I've ever played. It is one of my favorite games. The Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, by far my favorites to play. They have a lot of replay value, and it's just... And now that there's actual achievements in the games, except for PlayStation, it's called trophies. I can't wait to earn all the trophies. Which, before you got here, guess what one of the trophies is? Don't play throughout the entire game without changing your equipment.
Huh.
Which, if you've played the first Kingdom Hearts game, like Judd and I have, I'll cut that out. I don't know if we want his name in there.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I don't think that'll be a problem.
Yeah. But we played... There was one night Judd and I were playing Kingdom Hearts. We pretty much played... We stayed up really late just to beat the game. He wanted to beat one of the characters, Riku, with the Kingdom Keyblade, which was pretty much impossible to do because he was so difficult. And throughout the game, each Keyblade you get, it's a bit stronger and stronger, easier to kill things. Doesn't take as much time and damage to kill them. So basically, I'm gonna have to go through the entire game playing with just the Kingdom Key and making sure Donald and Goofy also have the same weapons they start off with at the beginning, which means they're not that strong. But I managed to actually play throughout the entire Kingdom Hearts 2 with just the Kingdom Keyblade, which was awesome. But with that in mind, obviously, movies I'm really looking forward to. One I'm not so sure now because of reports that I've been hearing. This Han Solo movie. Not sure how I feel about it now, and then I'm hearing...
I haven't heard anything about it. I'm still not entirely sure how
I'm not sure how I feel about it. It feels like it's like...
I mean, I guess here's my thing about the Star Wars movies. You know, they were, this really special thing that, it was...
It's our childhood.
Well, when we were kids, there were the 3 movies, and that's basic... Well...
That was basically until 1999. 4.
Christmas
special. Don't count the Christmas special, Sam. I have heard nothing but bad things about the Christmas special. I have never seen it, and I'm kind of dreading to watching it, but at the same time, I feel like I have
That's gonna be our Christmas. That's gonna be our first Christmas movie this coming year.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun to watch. I feel like I can't call myself a Star Wars fan without watching that, so I have to get that off my bucket list.
But anyway, getting back to my point. I feel like we're getting so much Star Wars that it just isn't as meaningful now.
You feel like we're going to get franchise fatigue from that?
Yes.
It's entirely possible. I mean, I agree with...
That's not even looking at the fact that Disney owns Star Wars, because we're going to... Like, I was reading on Reddit today... It's like only one of the top 25 grossing movies this year was an original movie instead of, a remake or a sequel, or what was the third one? Adaptation.
Yeah. They're really... Yeah, Hollywood's running out of ideas for original stuff.
Well, it's not so much that. It's just that we don't have enough coming out of the... We don't have enough big, successful movies that are, independently made.
Yeah. That's true. But...
Which is... partially just due to Disney and Warner Brothers and
big movie
studios,
big studio companies. But yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. I get your point of the whole. It's not as meaningful.
It's not as special.
It's not. And you definitely have a point, because I remember, we. Like you said, when we were kids, we grew up with the first 3 original films. Then we got excited for the new films that were coming out, which was just 3. Again, was just 3 more.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, you didn't quite enjoy...
I mean, the concept behind the prequels, I enjoy that.
Yeah.
The execution's not as great, but...
Opinion. But, I mean, slightly agreed to that opinion. Just
But I mean, now, it's been quite. How long was it between episode 3 and episode 7?
Episode 3 and episode 7, it was 10 years.
Yeah,
10 years.
What I thought. So yeah, I mean, we got 10 years between trilogies, and it was even longer than that between episode 6 and episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, episode 9 isn't even out yet, and we've got the announcement of
another trilogy, which we have no clue what it's going to be.
And then on top of that, we had the Clone Wars movie, the Clone Wars TV show.
Which I love the Clone Wars TV show. We also have Rebels, which I really kind of want to watch, but I haven't.
I mean, I'm not saying that those are good or bad because I haven't seen them, but it goes back to it's not as meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are going to kind of get a little fatigued.
I don't know
with Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible. I will admit it's entirely possible. Me, I feel like I'll feel more fatigue from it if they continue, if they start making like really bad ones.
Yeah.
Like if they finally reach the point where I'm saying, okay, this is the one Star Wars films besides the Christmas special that is just downright awful and that I don't like. That to me is going to be a dark day because, as you know, I am one of the big defenders of the prequel trilogy. I love the prequel trilogy, not as much as the original, obviously, because the original will always, no matter what new trilogies come out, the original trilogy will always be the best. It will always be the best 3 sets of movies that ever, as far as the Star Wars universe.
Mm-hmm.
But if they keep going and they start making films that are just not as enjoyable or just don't feel as special, and don't continue with the story of expanding the mythos of the Force and the universe that they're in, I feel like it's definitely possible for feeling franchise fatigue. The only reason I don't say I feel like I won't have franchise fatigue is if they do what Marvel is doing, and that's continually making good movies. Because as far as Marvel, I have not felt any fatigue yet. I am excited, which brings me to my next point of the movies I'm excited for this year. I can't wait for Black Panther in February.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for that. It's going to be awesome. And then, of course, the big Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait for Infinity War. Though, I don't know how excited I am for Ant-Man and the Wasp. I mean, I'm kind of excited, but right now, Black Panther and Infinity War I'm most excited about this year. I cannot wait to see the culmination of the MCU and where they're going to take it. And so, as long as Star Wars can do something like that, I don't think I'm going to get fatigue. Because I have not felt fatigue yet as far as Marvel's movies.
And granted, obviously, the new trilogy isn't going to be out anytime.
Yeah, no.
So.
And we don't even know what it's going to be about. A lot of people are hoping that it'll be like the Old Republic, which I think that would be really cool because you could easily make a trilogy out of the Old Republic. It'd be so cool to see. Because if you've ever played any of the Xbox games, the reason why I went to Xbox in the first place was because of Star Wars: The Old Republic video game, and I love that game. It is amazing, and is now backwards compatible with Xbox One. So I can't wait to replay it one day. Okay, I've given you more than a minute. What are you most excited about?
I don't know.
Or did I take all of them?
I've been kind of overwhelmed with work, and right now for me, I'm Christmas season's finally over, and I can finally sit down and relax, and part of me is like, what? I have missed so much that's been happening around me. I have no idea what's going on anymore.
FCC got rid of net neutrality.
Yeah, I knew that.
Boo!
We'll see how well that lasts.
Yeah,
because
they're getting sued.
Yeah, because they didn't go about it properly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they're actually going to really go into this investigation, but there is there's talk online that maybe they were aware of the botnets that were putting the fake comments on the FCC's website that were all in favor of net neutrality. Because there were some legitimate comments that were in favor of net neutrality.
Yeah.
But not nearly as many as there were. And it was very obvious that there were botnets creating these comments. And there's talk about, well, there's no way the FCC didn't know about this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be interested to see if anything comes about it.
Yeah.
I'm not optimistic about that happening, but I guess if there's anything coming up in the next, well, yeah, and then Black Panther and Infinity War. Because Avengers are getting pretty big, and for a TV show that would work, but I'm not sure how well that would work for a movie franchise.
We're gonna see.
Yep.
We're gonna see, and I cannot wait. I feel like my worries are a bit calmed. They're still a little bit there, but they have been calmed down a bit. Because I was telling you about, I was a little bit concerned of how well they're gonna do it. With so many characters all in one movie. But the nice thing about it, and this is where I get mad a little bit about DC, is they took the time to build these characters throughout with their own movies to get to this point. We know these characters going in, and we'll be happy if they get some cool moments and all that. But we're not too worried about maybe not having so many moments. Like, we know who these characters are. We want them to have cool moments, and I feel like they're gonna get them because the directors behind it, the Russo brothers, have done a great job with. They made The Winter Soldier, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and they made Captain America: Civil War, and they did a great job balancing in Civil War. And I felt like that was a good stepping stone to help them get to Infinity War.
Yeah.
So I if anybody I can trust with making Infinity War and balancing as many characters as we're going to have, I trust the Russo brothers. I trust Kevin Feige. Feige? Okay, yeah. Okay.
Feige or Feige, I can't remember.
Yeah, Kevin Feige. So, I just can't wait. I'm hoping it's going to be the movie of the year. I guess another movie I'm kind of excited for, and this is probably going to be the last one, because this is probably going to be our longest podcast episode, Aquaman from DC.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I cannot wait, because Aquaman, to me, is one of the most underrated DC characters of all time, and it's no thanks to Super Friends cartoon, and Family Guy's jokes, and all the other jokes that were spawned out of it. But I think one of the best things that came out of Justice League was Aquaman, and I cannot wait for his movie this year, next year.
New conspiracy theory. The New 52 was only made to reboot Aquaman. It was their sole purpose in making that, was to reboot Aquaman.
You know why that's funny? Because it's probably true. Because right now, I've got 4 volumes of the New 52 of Aquaman. And honestly, it's one of my favorite comics that I've read, was the New 52's Aquaman. It's some of the best comic book writing I've ever read. though you've got Jeff Jones, who now I hear is going to be basically DC's Kevin Feige. He's basically he's going to be producing it, and I hope that they will give him a lot of control because Jeff does a really great job. He wrote a lot of the great comic book storylines, such as Blackest Night, the Green Lantern arc, and of course he made Aquaman so cool for me when he wrote the Aquaman New 52 stuff. So I'm, it's going to be a really interesting year. I'm excited. One thing I will announce this year that Sam and I are going to do, we are going to make, and we're hopefully going to get out.
We are?
No. Dang it, Sam! We are going to be making, in honor of its 10-year anniversary, we are going to do Iron Man to start off our MCU reviews.
Yeah.
Because Iron Man will be turning 10 years old this year. And we're hoping to have that video released on the day of the 10-year anniversary. That is going to be my biggest goal that we get done this year.
Okay. That sounds good.
And maybe we'll get Last Jedi made. We might just decide, we'll just do it in order. Or we won't. Because, we said in the car that we were going to review it. But now that it's been a couple days, and I feel like we might need to rewatch it just to give it a fair.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to say right now, MCU, we're doing in order. We don't care how long it takes. We won't do it all at once, obviously. We're not going to have, we just released Iron Man. Okay, next movie, Incredible Hulk. Okay, next review that's going to come out, Iron Man 2. We're not going to do that because eventually Sam and I are going to get bored of that. And we want to keep being different. So it'll be Iron Man, that'll be a different movie, and then, it'll take some time. Maybe it'll take 10 years.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not, but we're not going to do it all at once. As far as Star Wars, we're still debating. I feel like we should do it in order of release. But again, we'll talk about it. We'll see. So that wraps up this episode of Sidetracked. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Ryan. I'm Sam.
Yeah.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Have a happy new year.
Yes. Happy New Year. Stay warm if you're in cold places.